I welcome you all once again. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Thank you, Dr. Anita, for rescuing the day. It happens sometimes. And if you had joined us 2 minutes back, you knew we were speaking about how the energy of 2023 is associated with Ketu. And in Vedic numerology as well as Vedic astrology, we say that one of the remedies for Ketu is to do meditation on Sri Ganesha. And anyways, most of us know that whenever we are beginning anything auspicious, we are beginning anything new, we say Sri Ganesh karte hain, which means Sri Ganesha, who is also associated with our root chakra, is done Vandana off. And why do we really need a remedy for Ketu at all? Because when Ketu is not so great in its energy, what it does is that it makes us feel lost and it makes us feel directionless. Why is that? Because Ketu is everything without the head. It is the lower portion of the Asura Swarbhanu. So basically, it means the head, which has our brain, it has our senses, it has our nose, the ability to hear, etc. All of that goes for a toss, and we start relying on outside sources. So therefore, sense of discernment, and therefore Sri Ganesha comes into picture. But we will understand this more and deeper through the stories which Dr. Anita will be sharing with us. And I will also add what is the takeaway numerologically and astrologically in terms of remedies from those stories. So with that, let's again do Sri Ganesha, and over to you, Dr. Anita.
Thank you, Neha, for this wonderful introduction and wonderful, information about the star and the Ketu and the number 7, which is actually going to be the number of the year. So as we are doing now, everybody is relaxed now. And whenever I say we start the session, I always tell you to just be in the receptive mode, because this is a very subtle knowledge. Whatever we receive from these scriptures, it is a very subtle knowledge. And subtle knowledge comes to us, we absorb, assimilate this knowledge when we are in a receptive mode, when we are actually in a receiving mode, we are ready to receive. और ये बहुत सूक्ष्म ज्ञान होता है जो धीरे धीरे अंदर जाता है. तो जितना हम अपने आप को रिसेप्टिव मोड में रखेंगे, जितना हम अपने आप को ओपन मोड में रखेंगे, उतना हमें ज्ञान ये प्राप्त होगा. So when we say Sri Ganesha means we are starting something. We are actually in the beginning of something. तो जब भी किसी चीज की शुरुआत करते हैं, प्रथम देवता is Sri Ganesh. That, okay, when I say Ganesh, let us understand who is Ganesh or who is Ganpati. So Gana means, there are two meanings to it given in scriptures. One is जो शिव जी के गण है ना, जो उनके सब साथी हैं, जो उनके ganas, who are always accompanying Shiva, is उनके जो पति हैं, उनके जो स्वामी हैं, he is Ganpati. And Gan means Ganana, the counting, the group. एक से जब भी कोई वस्तु ज्यादा होती है तो समूह बन जाता है, गण बन जाता है, उसकी गणना की जा सकती है. We can count, so it becomes a group. And the leader of the group, the Swami of the group, the Pati of that group is called Ganpati. So this Ganpati, whom we are going to speak about, is the leader of the entire groups. जितने भी समूह हैं, जितने भी ग्रुप्स हैं, उनके वो पति हैं, उनके वो स्वामी हैं. सो समूह किस चीज के हैं? समूह तो हर चीज के हैं. आप देखिए ना, अमीरों का समूह है, गरीबों का समूह है, प्लांट्स का समूह है, एनिमल्स का है, मैमल्स का है, सेपियंस का है, जितने भी समूह हैं, वाटर बॉडीज का है, कॉन्टिनेंट्स का ग्रुप है, कंट्रीज का ग्रुप है, स्टेट्स का ग्रुप है, बॉडी में ऑर्गन्स के ग्रुप्स हैं. ऑल स्पीशीज हैव देयर ग्रुप्स, प्लांट्स के, हर्ब्स के, श्रब्स के, एनिमल्स के, हर तरह के, रेप्टाइल्स के, मैमल्स के. आप कोई भी ग्रुप की बात कीजिए, चाहे वो कलर्स का ग्रुप है, सुरों का ग्रुप है, सुर जो होते हैं हमारे 7 सुरों का जो ग्रुप है, या फिर different types of bodies का ग्रुप है, different types of social status का ग्रुप है, different type of education का ग्रुप है. All groups are groups, and the leader of all the groups is Ganpati. So जहां जहां समूह है, even we can talk about our organs, inner body also. हमारे डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम्स के अलग अलग ग्रुप्स हैं, हमारे सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम्स के ग्रुप्स हैं. So whichever group you are talking about, smallest and the biggest, and when I go to biggest mean all Milky Ways, the cosmos, all the planets के जो ग्रुप्स हैं, उन सब के जो नायक हैं, उनके सबके जो स्वामी हैं, वो गणपति हैं. So from that roly poly simple chubby गोल मटोल गणपति से लेकर इतने महान गणपति जो कि सारे मिल्की वेज को भी गवर्न करते हैं, ऐसी जो रेंज रखते हैं ना, वो है हमारे गणपति. और वहीं से शुरुआत है. हम किसी भी चीज का जो श्री गणेश करते हैं, प्रथम देवता, सबसे पहले उनकी वंदना. क्यों वंदना? क्योंकि वो विघ्नहर्ता है. वो विघ्नहर्ता है ऑल द ऑब्स्टिकल्स. जैसे अभी हमारे सेशन में एक छोटा सा ऑब्स्टिकल आ गया, ठीक है, then Zoom stopped working or it said कि meeting will end. So there was some kind of obstacle in us. So हर तरह का obstacle, 3 तरह के obstacles होते हैं. One can be physical obstacle. जैसे आपने यदि आज सोचा कि मैं ये गणपति की सेशन या स्टोरी सेशन अटेंड करूंगा, लेकिन कुछ घर में गेस्ट आ गए, या फिर आपका इंटरनेट काम नहीं कर रहा है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी काम नहीं कर रही है, दिस कैन ऑल्सो बी एन ऑब्स्टिकल. Or there is some kind of boss has was in a bad mood and now you are in a bad mood, or family has some problem, so that kind of problem can come. Or you are unwell, physically unwell, then also this can. So कई तरह के obstacles आ सकते हैं जीवन में जब हम कोई भी कार्य शुरू करते हैं. तो उन तरह को 3 लेवल के होते हैं, आदि दैविक, आदि भौतिक, आध्यात्मिक. तीनों तरह के लेवल्स आ सकते हैं. आध्यात्मिक में मीन्स आपका मन ही नहीं, आपकी आत्मा इन कामों में खुशी नहीं होती है, कि आपको ऐसा ज्ञान के बारे में विचार करना अच्छा नहीं लगता है. तो इस तरह के ऑब्स्टिकल्स किसी भी लेवल का हो, गणपति इज एबल टू रिमूव ऑल द लेवल्स ऑफ ऑब्स्टिकल्स. दैट इज व्हाई ही इज कॉल्ड विघ्नहर्ता. एंड मंगल मूर्ति, बिकॉज मंगल मूर्ति तो है ही है, ऑस्पिशियसनेस आ जाती है. जहां जहां गणपति की बात करते हो ना, खुशी साथ में आती है. तो बिफोर आई गो टू अदर स्टोरीज, तो पहले तो गणपति जी को जब हमने विराजमान कर लिया, उनसे प्रार्थना कर ली, उनके साथ ये बात कर ली कि ऑब्स्टिकल्स दूर कर लेना. तो काम जब भी जीवन का कोई शुरू करें, तो फिर उनके साथ हम ये ऑब्स्टिकल उनके दूर कर सकते हैं. अच्छा, इसके बाद मैं आपसे एक और बात करना चाहूंगी. मैं बीच में नेहा को इनवाइट करूंगी ताकि वो इन 3 लेवल्स की बात कर सकें. लेकिन उससे पहले मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूँ कि इनका जन्म कैसे हुआ. कहानी के हम लोग क्या कहानी सुनते हैं. अक्सर ये कहानी सुनी जाती है कि एक बार पार्वती ने शिव जो है वो 12 साल के लिए तपस्या करने के लिए कहीं गए हैं. पार्वती इज गेटिंग बोर्ड, एंड ये स्टोरी की बात मैं आपको बता रही हूँ, तो इसका डीपर मीनिंग भी हम समझेंगे. सो शी सेज कि आई वांट अ बेबी. सो शी पुट सैंडल पेस्ट. कई स्थानों पर लिखा है कि उन्होंने अपने शरीर की मैल उतार कर उन्होंने एक पुतला बनाया. कहीं लिखा है कि उन्होंने अपने आप को स्मियर किया सैंडल पेस्ट से. अपना जो पूरा शरीर है उसको शी एक्चुअली covered with the sandal paste, and then she removed, after a couple of days she removed that sandal paste and she created a toy out of it. एक पुतला बनाया उन्होंने उसमें से. और फिर because Parvati is Parvati, she has her many tantric powers, so she, out of her tantra powers, she actually gave life to that statue which she created. And उनके साथ उनका वक्त बहुत अच्छा बीत रहा था. सो वंस शी वांटेड टू टेक अ शावर, वो मानसरोवर में आई और उन्होंने उस जो बालक जो उन्होंने स्वयं बनाया था, उसको कहा कि आई एम गोइंग टू टेक शावर, मैं नहाने जा रही हूँ, आप ध्यान रखना कि कोई यहाँ पर ना आए. So that child who is actually, very enthusiastic to help his mother is now running around, going up and down to protect, and actually he is ready to take on to somebody who is coming this way. When you are very enthusiastically doing something for someone, you are very aggressive. Now he loves his mother so much and wants to protect, and he's just running around with lot of aggression कि कोई आए तो मैं उससे झगड़ा करूं कि मैं मेरी मदर को मैं प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहता हूं. So Shiva comes with his friends, and this boy who is created by Parvati, he asks, "Who are you?" And Shiva, with his, this is my home. I have come to meet my wife. Who are you? Because Shiva doesn't know this boy. Shiva has no contribution in this, in the birth of this child. So शिव को गुस्सा आया और उन्होंने अपना जो त्रिशूल था या फिर जो हाथ में जो भी उनके हथियार था उससे उसका सिर काट दिया. सिर काट के जैसे ही वो अंदर पहुंचे, पार्वती, and because he is very keen and very curious to meet his wife, and he goes inside and he's expecting a lot of good vibes from his wife, but what wife says is, wife sees the blood and she starts howling. She says, "What have you done to my child?" He says, "Which child? We have no child." Says, "No, you have killed my child. अभी आप मेरे को कुछ नहीं चाहिए, मुझे ये बच्चा जिंदा वापस दे." So now Shiv has no option to find, if he has to please his wife, he has to give rebirth to this baby. तो ऐसा बताया गया कि उन्होंने जो हाथी है उसका सिर लगा के इस बच्चे को जीवित किया, और ये बच्चा है गणेश. राइट? ये कहानी हमने सबने सुनी है, सबको ये कहानी पता थी ना, कोई नई बात नहीं है. नई बात इसमें क्या है, वो ये है कि देखो, ये जो जब जब प्रकृति से कुछ उपजता है और जिसमें शिव तत्व नहीं है, जिसमें शिव तत्व, शिव इज कॉन्शियसनेस, प्रकृति इज माया, जो शक्ति है वो माया है. पार्वती इज प्रकृति, प्रकृति इज माया. उसके भीतर से जब वो, उसमें शिव तत्व नहीं है और वो उपजता है, उसका जन्म होता है, तो उसके पास बुद्धि नहीं है, विवेक बुद्धि नहीं है. तो जब शिव से उसका सामना होता है तो अहंकार बुद्धि, जो सिर का जो हमारा स्वरूप है, उसको जब तक काटा नहीं जाएगा, ईगो अहंकार खत्म नहीं कर दिया जाएगा, विवेक का जन्म नहीं होगा, तब तक हमारा जन्म नहीं होता है. तो गणेश को जब वो उसका सिर काटकर दूसरा सिर लगाया गया, अभी किसी ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है कि हाथी का सिर क्यों लगाया गया था. तो हाथी का जब सिर लगाया है उसका भी मैं आपको बताऊंगी, लेकिन पहले ये बात समझ लीजिए कि जब तक शिव तत्व आप में नहीं है तब तक गणपति का जन्म नहीं हुआ है. तो प्रकृति केवल आपको जन्म देती है, लेकिन उसमें शिव तत्व का मिलाया जाना बहुत जरूरी है. सो दैट कॉन्शियसनेस, so it is a mixture of Purush and Prakriti. That is how Ganpati is born. Are you able to resonate with this? Neha, you would like to add something to this? Neha, you are muted. Okay. If Neha is a little busy, so I can continue with this. So this is the story of the birth of Ganesha. तो जब जब, जैसे अभी उसमें बताया ना कि केतु इज हेडलेस, जब तक विवेक नहीं आएगा तब तक डायरेक्शनलेस होने ही वाले हैं. तो पहले नेहा इसको एक्सप्लेन कर ले, देन आई विल टेल यू व्हाई एलिफेंट हेड, व्हाई नॉट एनीबडी एनी अदर हेड आल्सो. यस,
Great. So excellent story of the inception of Sri Ganesha. So many giveaways and so many takings from this for the guidance of 2023. First of all, the most important point is that how Sri Ganesha was a creation of Shakti, because she wanted, she had that nurturing power, and she was missing somebody, so she wanted somebody for company. What Ketu does is, Ketu often makes us feel aloof, away from everybody around us. And at that time, because we have gone so within, there is something definitely which gets created. Now, this creation that we have, and which is very important for all of us to understand for the year 2023, in fact, onwards, also, is that this creation that we have, when it is not aligned with our sole purpose, which means that we have done it just because we wanted to, and it is not aligned with the sole purpose, means that we have done it egoistically, and therefore its head will be cut. Exactly the way it happens in the story, that as Shiva, the soul, the Surya, Shiva is also associated with Surya, the reason, the purpose of doing something. So till the time the Shiva essence, as Dr. Anita said, is not involved in our creation, which means that it is not in alignment with our soul's path, several times we will have to reset in the year 23. As you also this is exactly what happened at the beginning of our session. Somebody wrote in the comment section that the session started at 7 p.m. because probably that was the most aligned, that was probably the most divine time at which it was supposed to happen, even though we had been planning on this session for so long. So first, guidance for you all is that if a reset happens in your life in 23, honor it just as it was honored in this story, because it is happening for the highest and best for yourself and everybody around you. And the second thing is, whatever you create, because when we go within, the churning process starts. Certain things come out which we thought that we have processed earlier, or if we are thinking that it will never happen that way, those kind of unexpected, just as Parvati ji went for a bath, never expecting that she will come out to a beheaded son. So such unexpected things might happen in the year of Ketu, which is where we have to go back and connect back with our soul, with our Shiva, with our Shiva consciousness, and realign it to our highest and best. And which is what this story of Sri Ganesha teaches us, and is aligning us to the energy of Ketu. Also, the other thing is, yes, there is a question here, but first of all, I would request you all to keep your sessions for the end of the session so that there is no break in sharing what we want to share. But however, we are accepting the divine time. And as this question has come, the answer to that what does beheading when it comes to the Shastras or these stories really means? Beheading, as one explained by Dr. Anita, means taking away of the head, which is the ego. And the second, when you connect it back astrologically and numerologically, is also that head is the place where we have all our senses. So have a look at my head, which is where the eyes are, from where we see, and which is where the nose is, from where I smell, or which is where the mouth is, from where we eat and we taste, and which is where the ears are, from where we hear. So most of our senses, plus the most important organ of our body, which is the brain, which cannot be replaced, is in our head. So basically, Sri Ganesha's story here further tells us that whenever our head is not working for us, it's okay to put the head of Ganesha. What is Ganesha or what is elephant? It is the Jupiterian energy, the energy of wisdom, the energy of advice. You see? And we will further speak about the Ganesha Swarup, because that is very, very important to understand. As the question being, why Ganesha, why a head of elephant, which will further be explained by Dr. Anita through the Swarup of Ganesha. Right? But this is basically to say that when our senses are not in our control, when our senses are not making any sense to us, with what I see, I'm not able to decide, with what I hear, I'm not able to decide, with what I perceive, I'm not able to decide, it is okay to engage a guru or a mentor in life. Now, this guru or mentor in life could be anybody. It could be a lineage guru. It could be just sometimes watching, hearing, engaging your senses in some motivational speaker on YouTube. It could be literally engaging a guru from outside, such as a therapist, counselor, or a life coach, depending upon what you need. So in 23, whenever you feel lost, whenever one feels that the senses are not, I'm not able to make the best use of my senses, then be ready to realign with it, to put the head of guru instead in the place of your own sense. So that is the other guidance for Ketu and through this. With that,
Awesome.
I give it back to Dr. Anita.
Awesome, wonderful share, and wonderful information. It is so resonating with the Ganesha story. So I will take this question who said, because I wanted to actually explain the Swarupa and why elephant. Okay, elephant is the animal. वैसे तो हमारे शास्त्रों में बहुत बताया गया है कि कोई गजराज थे, उनका एक it was a blessing to him that he will be taken care by Shiva. So I'm not going there, but एक कुछ गुण ऐसे हैं एलिफेंट में जो केवल एलिफेंट में है. देखो, elephant is the only animal who is very, very powerful, but who is very compassionate, very innocent, and very sensitive. क्योंकि एलिफेंट की ही एक जो उनकी टस्क है, जो उनकी जो सूंड है, जो उनकी जो ट्रंक है, वो इतनी सेंसिटिव है कि पूरे हस्क के पूरे कहते हैं कि रूम में से वो एक सुई ढूंढ सकती है, इतनी सेंसिटिव है. इट हैज दैट सेंस ऑफ, सुषुम्ना नाड़ी से रेजोनेट करती है. जो हाथी की जो ट्रंक है ना, जो सूंड है, वो सुषुम्ना नाड़ी हमारे शरीर में है, जो हमें कॉस्मोस से जुड़ाव कराती है. कहते हैं कि सुषुम्ना को ही टच करना इज अवर अल्टीमेट पर्पस. क्योंकि जब हम शुरुआत करते हैं अपनी स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी की, तो अल्टीमेटली हम इदा पिंगला के साथ सुषुम्ना कुंडलिनी जो है खुलती है, तो सुषुम्ना तक हम पहुंचते हैं. दूसरी बात यह है कि आप देखिए कि हाथी की आंखें कितनी छोटी हैं, कितनी इनोसेंट हैं, कितनी फोकस्ड हैं. हाथी एक ऐसा एनिमल है जिसको आरएनए और डीएनए पढ़ने की समझ है. आपने कभी देखा है कि हाथी जब चलता है तो वो सूंड से क्या-क्या डायरेक्शंस ढूंढते हुए चलते हैं, बिकॉज दे कैन हियर अल्ट्रासोनिक वेव्स, दे हैव दैट पावर. तो वो जब भी कहीं चल रहा होता है, कहीं से सुनता है, सिर हिलाता है, वो अपनी डायरेक्शन तय करता है और फिर आगे बढ़ता है. तो इट कैन रीड द सिग्नल्स ऑफ द अल्ट्रासोनिक वेव्स ऑल्सो. हाथी का जो कान है, वो आपने सबने देखा होगा, वो कितने उसकी शेप है, बहुत डिफरेंट शेप है. सूप जैसा, वो जो सुपड़ा होता है ना, जिसमें हम छानते हैं गेहूं, जो किसान लोग जब गेहूं को रीप करते हैं तो उसके बाद छानते हैं, तो वो क्या छानते हैं, कहते हैं कि हाथी का कान जो है ना, वो उस सुपड़े की तरह है. जिन लोगों ने मेरे साथ गणपति अथर्वशीर्ष की क्लास की है, उसमें मैंने ये समझाया है, जिसमें वो जो वेस्ट है उसको निकाल देता है, और जो सार है, जो तत्व है जीवन का, जो एसेंस है जीवन का, उसको रखता है. हम लोग क्या करते हैं, हम कचरा और क्लटर अपने पास रखते हैं और सार पर ध्यान नहीं देते. सो हाथी के जो कान है, वो ये आपको मैसेज देते हैं, लेट गो ऑफ द क्लटर, लेट गो ऑफ द नॉइज, कीप द एसेंस ऑफ द लाइफ, कीप द एसेंस ऑफ दैट नॉलेज, राइट. अच्छा, हाथी के ही एक ही जानवर है जिसके जब वो कान हिलाता है ना, तो उसकी आंखों तक पहुंचते हैं. आप जब उसके साथ, हाथी के साथ इंटरैक्ट करो, तो आपने कभी देखा है उसे कि वो कान हिलाता है जोर जोर से और उसके आंख को ऐसे ऐसे झेल करता है. मैसेज क्या है यहाँ पर? मैसेज ये है कि कभी केवल देखी हुई बात पर विश्वास ना करो और कभी केवल सुनी हुई बात पर विश्वास ना करो. यदि विवेक से काम लोगे तो सुनी और देखी बात का एक समन्वय बना लो, एक हार्मनी बना लो, एक मिश्रण बना लो. जो सुना है और जो देखा है, जरूरी नहीं वो इंडिपेंडेंटली सत्य हो. आप उन दोनों को, उनका समन्वय बनाओ, उनको समझो, विवेक बुद्धि के साथ उसका काम लो और फिर फैसला करो, फिर उसका कंक्लूड करो उसको, जो भी आपको डिसीजन लेना है। सो ऐसे करके बहुत सारे उसमें हाथी में गुण है, गुरु की बुद्धि है, बहुत बड़ा ब्रेन है, बहुत बड़ा पेट है। तो गणपति के जो बाकी के स्वरूप के, अच्छा गणपति के 4 हाथ दिखाए जाते हैं। 4 हाथों का मकसद क्या है? 4 हाथ ये हैं कि हमारे जो जीवन के जो 4 परस्यूट्स हैं, धर्म, अर्थ, काम और मोक्ष, उन चारों का देखभाल वो करते हैं। उनके चारों जो हाथ हैं वो चारों हमारे जीवन के परस्यूट्स हैं। फिर चारों हाथों में भी जो जो उनके दिखाई देता है ना आपको, वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। उनके चारों हाथों में आपको क्या नजर आता है? एक में तो पाश है, जिसमें वो अपने आप को बांधते हैं। मैसेज क्या है? कि हम अपने जीवन में अपना कंट्रोल अपने हाथ में रखें। पीपल शुड नॉट टेक एडवांटेज ऑफ आवर इमोशंस। हमारे गुस्से का, हमारे नफरत का, हमारे इम्पल्स का, हमारे एग्रेशन का कंट्रोल किसी और के पास नहीं होना चाहिए। यही हमारे रिश्तों के टूटने के कारण बनते हैं और हमारी शक्ति उससे कम हो जाती है, क्योंकि हम अपना कंट्रोल लोगों को देते हैं। तो ही से सेल्फ कंट्रोल, अपने ऊपर कंट्रोल करो और अपने कंट्रोल को अपने हाथ में रखो। दूसरा, उनके हाथ में गोर्ड होता है, जो उसका हिंदी में मुझे शब्द नहीं मिल रहा है, लेकिन वो उससे वो अपने भक्तों का को इधर उधर डिस्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होने देते, संभाल के रखते हैं अपने पास। फिर एक हाथ में उनकी वरद मुद्रा है, सबको ब्लेस करते हैं, हैप्पीनेस देते हैं, सबको ब्लेस कर रहे हैं। जैसे भी आप हैं आपको वो एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, ब्लेस करते हैं। चौथे हाथ में उनके मोदक है, हैप्पीनेस, the resultant of all these things, whatever we have actually discussed right now. You can see all this, the beautiful picture of Ganpati is there. अच्छा, गणपति की जो सूंड है ना, जो जिसे हम कहते हैं सुषुम्ना नाड़ी से मिलती जुलती है, वो लेफ्ट और राइट कहते हैं वक्रतुंड। वक्रतुंड क्यों? उनकी जो जो वो है वो एडजस्ट होती रहती है। कैसे? भक्तों की, बिकॉज वो जो भक्तों के लिए इतने कंपैशनेट हैं, भक्त को जैसा लेसन उस समय देना है, जीवन में जो लेसन देना है, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली लेफ्ट और राइट वो चेंज करते रहते हैं। सो ही इज जस्ट, उनकी अनुकंपा अपने भक्तों के लिए है हमेशा। सो ये उनके स्वरूप की खास बातें हैं। जैसे उनका जो पेट है वो बहुत बड़ा है, एक्सेप्टेंस। ही सेज you just accept whatever life has offered you, accept that. He listens a lot, बहुत बड़े कान है। और एक मुख है जिससे वो बात कम करते हैं। वो कहते हैं कि सुनो ज्यादा, बोलो कम, बोलो तब जब विवेक बुद्धि हो, जब बहुत जरूरी हो। सो इस तरह से उनके हर स्वरूप का एक एक जो अंग है या एक एक जो हिस्सा है, वो हमारे जीवन के लिए एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत मैसेज हो सकता है, एक सेल्फ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन का लेसन हो सकता है, और किस तरीके से हम अपने जीवन को और बेहतर, बहुत सुंदर बना सकते हैं, गणपति से सीखते हैं। क्योंकि वो हमेशा द अल्टीमेट इज हैप्पीनेस, द मोदक, आनंद, सत्य चित्त आनंद, वहां तक लेकर जाते हैं। और गणपति के बारे में तो कितनी बात कही गई है। वो जो हम अथर्व शीर्ष पढ़ते हैं, जो उनकी अल्टीमेट प्रेयर है, उसमें तो उनको ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश तक का की उपाधि दी गई है, दैट ही क्रिएट्स, ही सस्टेन्स एंड ही ट्रांसफॉर्म्स द एंटायर वर्ल्ड। सो दिस इज अबाउट द स्वरूप ऑफ गणपति। एंड ही लव्स द रेड फ्लावर, ही लव्स द उनको जो रेड सैंडलवुड बहुत पसंद है। और क्योंकि उनका लाल रंग है और उनका चक्र जो है मूलाधार है, हमारी जीवन की हर शुरुआत, चाहे वो मटेरियलिस्टिक वर्ल्ड में है, चाहे इमोशनल वर्ल्ड में है, चाहे स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में है, हर शुरुआत मूलाधार से है। बिकॉज ही इज देयर बिफोर द बिगिनिंग एंड ही इज देयर आफ्टर द एंड ऑल्सो। दिस इज द स्वरूपा ऑफ गणेश। यस।
Wow, beautiful, Dr. Anita. So many things you shared, which are such a blessing as a guidance for Ketu for the year 2023. Thank you. At this note, I also want to thank Sri Ganesha for giving us this wisdom to make this webinar reach out to everyone. And this is for everybody who has joined in here. You are going to take up a lot of guidance from this webinar. So promise yourself that one, you will make notes from now, because we are only in the beginning of the year. The year's energy have not yet started to show itself as it will in the coming year. All of this that we are sharing right now over here will be of help to you in this year of 2023. That's my guarantee to you. So here's one more thing that I want to tell you all. You can take a screenshot of this webinar and put it out there on your Instagram post, etc. Tag Dr. Anita, tag me, and let everybody know that this is going on, so that anyone else who wants to join in can join in right now also. So with that, let me help you understand that how is the Swarupa of Sri Ganesha associated with the guidance of 23. The first thing which Dr. Anita mentioned was that the elephants, they can see or they can understand the ultrasonic rays also. What is ultrasonic ray? Basically, it is that which is there, but human eyes are not able to see it, they're not able to perceive it. Doesn't it happen in our life a lot of times that we fear the unknown, something that we cannot see? We fear it. What will happen in the future? How will this person behave? I've given an interview. How will it come out to be? And then what does this unknown do to us? That it gives us a sense of anxiety, right? Because that is exactly how human beings are. When we don't know something, we fear it. And here is what Sri Ganesha is teaching us with this Abhay Mudra, which we just saw in the Swaroop, that don't worry, everything is happening for a divine purpose and everything is happening in your highest and best. It is ultimately going to serve you. So, just by his ability, in fact, being a neuro-linguistic programming coach, I recommend a lot of people to meditate on the form of Sri Ganesha, especially those people who feel lost in life. A lot of our ancient remedies say that we can donate laddus to Sri Ganesha's temple every Wednesday. You know why that is? Because one, Sri Ganesha enjoys eating, and secondly, we have a schedule in our life to visit Ganeshji's temple. Why Ganeshji's temple? So that we can do its darshan, we can see it, and by seeing, by engaging our sense of seeing, the pierced seeing of Sri Ganesha, small eyes but pierced, very focused, we will be able to absorb its energy through our sense, so that there are certain symbols which make a difference to our brain. We start producing different chemicals. Those chemicals, they help us in making decisions in life. So haven't you seen, like, just generally, if you are facing some issue, and if some elder says, don't worry, I'm there, they show their Abhay Mudra, don't worry, main hu na, that is what they say, right? You suddenly feel relaxed, right? Not that the problem has gone, not that people around have changed, but just this support. Oh, don't worry, I'm there. That makes you feel good. So these are the messages that the form of Sri Ganesha is saying, that don't worry, I'm there. No, don't worry, yaar. That kind of thing. And the next thing which doctor mentioned was to declutter, right? What do elephants do in a jungle? That they go straight ahead, very focused. I want to go into this direction, and then while doing so, they declutter. They remove all the obstacles which come in their direction. It is said that when a herd of elephants is moving across the jungle, it clears out the way for everyone, right? So, which is exactly another thing the Swaroop of Sri Ganesha is teaching us. This year, declutter. Declutter your surroundings, declutter your mind. So the first thing that you need to declutter is your room, the immediate environment in which you stay. Also, Ketu itself often comes with the message of decluttering whatever is excess in life, whatever you are now too dependent on, you feel that you cannot live your life without, but it makes you go within, makes you go simple. So, simple eating, simple living. And how does it make you declutter? Sometimes through losses, which means that if you have excess and you do not have value of it, or sometimes it makes you declutter just by this internal strength of donation. So do donations of these things which you feel that you have excess of, maybe money, maybe food, maybe other resources. A lot of times decluttering for people and living a simplistic life might also mean going, really like staying within in terms of friends. A lot of you, because Ketu is in Libra when it comes to the transit in astrology these days also. So Libra means relationships with others. So for a lot of you, this could be a declutter with respect to relationships. Any friendship which has, like done with it's done with its time, or any relationship, marriages, etc., or even other romantic relationship which has been done with its time. The universe will help you in decluttering it. Of course, in the beginning, it might feel like a little, ye kya ho raha hai? But this is required for you to live your highest and best life. It is basically Ketu's work is, have you heard that phrase, to make you light as a feather? That is what Ketu's perspective is. That is what it wants you to do, to become light as a feather, to only have in your life what is required for you to live a sustainable life. So that will happen. Then the next thing that the doctor mentioned was about self-control, right? So now that we have our senses, there could be a possibility that it might go, because we are feeling lost. There's so much information out there. There is every day, there is some, random information which comes to us through various social media platforms. It affects our health. It affects our mental health. So therefore, to control our senses in this particular time is very important. And what does the trunk of Shri Ganesha teaches us? To do breathing exercises, to do anulom vilom, right? To ensure that as far as possible, our senses, instead of us being in control of our senses, which means maybe in terms of what we are eating, what we are seeing, what we are hearing, the environment that we are in, that we are controlling all of these things as far as possible, that we control what we eat. So another suggestion for you all would be that you could start fasting either on Tuesdays or on Wednesdays, because diet has karma, food has karma, who has prepared it, where it is, where the seed was sown, what was the energy of the people who were sowing the seeds, etc., etc. So by kind of limiting the food intake, if possible, health-wise definitely. If it is possible, limit your food intake, declutter your food intake, realign it with your highest and best. That will definitely help. And in the Vedic culture, we say to fast on specific days, which is, as mentioned, Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Now, the next thing is, we also spoke about flexibility of the trunk. To have a sense of discernment, when do I need to go left, when do I need to go right, to not get stuck to an idea that this is how it has always been, so this is how it will always be. To have that sense of a little flexibility, that maybe this situation is not black or white, maybe it is gray, maybe this requires me to behave in a way which is new to me but required, right? So this is again where the head of the elephant, which is the guru or the mentor, comes into picture. And sometimes when we become too rigid, it is okay to listen to someone else's opinion, especially somebody who is apt in giving you those decisions. Now, again, this is another thing. Don't go to everybody for suggestions. Everybody might not, they might be dealing with their own thing. Go to the people who are qualified to give you suggestion depending upon what your question is. So that is a sense of discernment. That is the flexibility of the trunk. Where do I need to go? That's your internal GPS system. Why? Because the senses are lost. Ketu is headless, remember. So therefore, that internal GPS system has to be flexible, has to create a sense of discernment. Who do I rely on? Who do I ask the question? And before all of that, what is the question? That is also very important. Our Shastras say that the quality of the answer depends upon the quality of the question. Certain times I have seen Ketu people, and in Ketu period, a person becomes too curious. Curiosity in itself is not a problem. The concern is when we lose the sense of doing our own research. Certain simple things which are okay to be found on Google or other things, we start relying on others, which is why I'm saying the sense of discernment. Who are you asking? What are you asking? When I say asking, it also means, just asking a question on Google, or just asking a question on YouTube or any other platform that you use. The question has to be intelligent. The question has to be relevant. Don't waste your time asking random questions. Now, acceptance, the big stomach, right? As I said, that sometimes when we don't know our direct future, because that will never be the possibility, the key is to accept. Because once we accept what is, basis that foundation, on that we can start making decisions. But the more we live in non-acceptance of what is, we are just delaying the process of decision making. And there is a time where it is very important to make very informed decisions. So therefore, first accept what is, so that you can move forward from there. And lastly, something that Dr. Anita said, Mooladhara Chakra, which is which is also associated with Ganesh ji. I get a lot of queries asking about how do I open my third eye chakra? How do I open my crown chakra? And my basic answer is this: no, till the time you haven't worked on your roots, you haven't worked on your root chakra, your Mooladhara chakra, don't even attempt to go above. Because imagine a tree without roots, it will fall off. And like how? One storm and it will fall off. Therefore, it is very important for everybody, all of us, to connect back to our roots and to work on a Mooladhara chakra. What is Mooladhara chakra indicative of? It is indicative of our basic survival needs. So is my basics, in consideration, has that been taken care of? Am I getting food every day? Am I getting my basic survival needs every day? Also, again, the term here is basic. Remember, simplicity. Itna to hona hi chahiye. Uske baad, then you built upon your life. Cannot ignore your basic. Cannot stay, again, headless, that I'm always meditating or I'm always spiritual, as much as the need will arise. Yes, Ketu period gives us that time when we want to just stay within, meditate. And in fact, you could see a lot of these industries doing very well in this area, but ensure that your basics are taken care of. And upon that, build your spiritual practice. So with that, I give it away to Dr. Anita once again for our next story.
Wonderful, wonderful information and wonderful knowledge, Neha. I hope everybody is being benefited by this. And I would like to add on to this, as Neha was sharing, that we have to declutter our, spaces. We have to declutter our, eating habits, our senses. We have to actually start cleaning our senses by removing too much of intake of food, or start donating whatever is not required. That's wonderful. I would like to add on to this that also work on decluttering your thoughts and emotions. There are so many emotions which are not relevant to us right now. So many emotions we have to cleanse ourselves. So many things we have to let go of. So many grudges, so many blames, so many complaints we have to let go of. So let us start doing that also. That is also part of decluttering. Cleansing your karmas and cleansing your emotions is so important these days. So thank you, Neha, for sharing this and wonderful information. I hope we are all being benefited by this. Then one thing more, which I would like to, share here is there is an incident, because, we all see, this is all about energy, the real Brahman, who is the real creator. We are not talking here about the religions and the stories, because, because these stories were given to us to indicate us or guide us towards the ultimate goal. Ultimate goal is to know yourself, the enlightenment, the liberation से भी ऊपर की बात हम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर. So these, all the stories are guide to take us to that level. क्योंकि हमें इतने we cannot actually find Nirakar Brahman because our senses are not trained for that. So we start looking for the Swaroop, we start looking for the mantra, we start looking for the pictures or the yantras. So our seers were so smart and so, equipped with this knowledge. They knew कि जो नई generations आएंगी, they have to start from the kindergarten. So they gave us stories. So this story of how Ganesha was created, if somebody logical, I was also like this. I am like a very, very analytical, logical person. And I used to laugh at these stories because I used to think, how can these things, Like father doesn't know he's my child, and the mother is saying you protect me, and she created a child out of her, dirt of the body. And what is this? It doesn't make any sense. But when you go deeper into it, and somebody is there to tell you stories, deeper meanings, the good earth of these stories, the good earth of these scriptures and Puranas and wonderful, information, then you realize, oh my God, they are actually such potent, bombs of wisdom, which are so beautifully wrapped in these stories, so that we start understanding when we fall in love with these stories, and then the deeper layers will start opening up, revealing all these stories, all these messages. So the ultimate is your introduction to yourself. You go back to your roots, you go back to your own self, and find the infinite nature of your own self. So once, Shiva and Parvati and, all these children, Ganesha and Kartik is the brother of Ganesha, they were just sitting, and they just went into this conversation, who is superior? This is sibling, ye har sibling ki story hoti hai. Mama, who is your favorite, my brother or me, or my sister or me? This is the story all the children go through. So they were having this conversation. They said, ki, whom you like more, who is more intelligent, or who is more wise? So the parents said, okay, we will find this out. Let's have a small competition. You go and take the 3 rounds of your words and come back. We will see who wins. Who comes first, then, will be the winner. So Karthik was very happy, because his Vahan is who? Peacock, who just flies faster than the Mushak. Mushak is the Vahan of Ganesha. And he just immediately, the moment the competition has been set, he flies. And Ganesha, he knows he's roly-poly, he's, huge, and his Vahan is also a Mushak. So he just says, he closes his eyes, takes 3 rounds of his parents, and comes back. And by the time Karthik comes and he says, Ganesha, you didn't even start. He says, no, I completed my journey. He says, how is it possible? I just flew so fast. You cannot compete with me. He says, you didn't listen. Parents said, go and take 3 rounds of your words. My word is my parents. So I took 3 rounds of my parents, and my word is done. My work is done. And you were looking for the outer worlds, and you took this time. So that is how Ganesha is far more wiser. That is why he's the Pratham Devata. That is why he is the, he's favorite of all the devas, and favorite of all the favorite of his parents also. That is what is said. So here it is so important to know what is your word, what you mean by that. First is listen properly, and then find your own word. So Neha will explain this story, I think, more further in this numerological and astrological way. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Such a beautiful story, I must say, so intelligent that instead of roaming around the entire world, more number of times, my entire world is my parents. What does that teach us? See, Ketu is the, and why again, once again, why are we speaking about Ketu? Because 2023 comes with the energy of Ketu, as it is the number 7. When you add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3, it comes to a number 7. So Ketu is also that it's a shadow planet, which means that again it's a point which is made by the interaction of Earth, Moon, and the Sun. And what are the parents? Parents in astrology and numerology is the Sun and the Moon. Sun is the father, Moon is the mother. So what does this say? What does this story teach us? One is to ensure that when it comes to our emotions, which is our mother, and our idea of nurturing is in place. And the other, when it comes to leadership qualities and the direction that we want in our life, which is the masculine energy, which is Sun, is also in place. And when we are in doubt, what will we do when we face competition in life? what will we do? Instead of expending our energy and doing hard work, we will do smart work, which means we will take a parikrama of our mother and father, our masculine and feminine. Also means we will take a relook to what is my direction, what is my goal, what is my idea of nurturing, what does it mean for me to make emotionally balanced decisions. So a lot of time and opportunity will come to us where we will have to make smart decisions instead of hard decisions. That means instead of wasting our energy and trying to prove it to everyone that we are hard workers, this year is the time to really take things into our hand and start working smartly, reset our goals wherever required, and reset our emotional intelligence and emotional quotient wherever it is required. Whenever in doubt, go and study the story of Sri Ganesha even further. It is all about using your mind, using your brain, using your sense of discernment, rather than making impulsive decisions, because that is what his brother over here did. Sri Kartikeya. Kartikeya in astrology is associated with Mars, and a disbalanced Mars is the energy of making impulsive decision. Because I'm feeling so lost, somebody comes to me and says, oh, this is the direction, and I quickly jump into it and take the direction. No, you don't have to do that. In 23, you have to first see, is it aligned with my goal? Does it make me emotionally feel better? Does this grow me in my leadership skills? Is it respecting me? Does this have respect of me and my family in place? Ask yourself these questions. Do its parikrama. When you are doing a parikrama, which means you're putting something in the center and you are engaging with its aura, right? So literally it means do the parikrama of your goals and your emotional quotient. Do a parikrama of your internal sense of flow and direction. And whenever an opportunity comes to you, then make a decision. Do not once again get lost in the feeling of that senselessness that I cannot see, I cannot hear, I cannot make better decisions. So smart decisions rather than hard decisions. Do not expend energy unnecessarily. Make only those decisions which are aligned with your goal and your emotions. And if it is not required, then don't make any decision this year. Leave it for the year of 2024. Which comes with the energy of 8, which generally means power. We'll speak about that when the year comes, but this is what we need to consider for this year. So that is the numerological and astrological aspect of this. With that, I give it back to Dr. Anita.
Yeah, wonderful thing. Yeah, this is very good way of like living in this life, and particularly this year. Not hard work you have to do, but smartly you have to take decision, and smart decisions are going to take you forward. Your goal should be very fixed. You should know which is your word, which is your purpose, which is your goal. And according to that, you just take the parikrama or take action towards that. And each day, if you take action, then you will definitely go near the goal. So this is awesome. And I think how much ever we talk about Ganesha is going to be less, because Ganesha is infinite. It is said in the Atharva Shirsha, that is the ultimate prayer. It's a small Upanishad, which I always teach, and I think I will. I'm planning to do this in January only, so that we start with Ganpati Atharva Shirsh, and along with Hanuman Chalisa, this January I'm also going to teach Atharva Shirsh, and because Neha's community is there, so I want to actually offer them a good discount for this session in case anybody is registering today after this webinar, or right now also. In case Neha, you have the link, you can share in the chat box. You will get discount, and you will understand more deeply about Ganesha. Atharva Shirsh is the ultimate prayer, which has been given in our Upanishads. So it's a minor Upanishad where we discuss who is Ganesha. It is a Gyan Yoga. It is also the Karma Yoga. It is also the Mantra Yoga. So in this Atharva Shirsh, we actually learn what is Ganpati's Bij Mantra. We also learn what is Ganpati's Gayatri. We also learn what is Ganpati Yantra. We also learn Ganpati's various names, Swarupa, and how Ganpati comes to the existence. What is his powers? Lot. It's a deeper poem, But if you are very interested in this knowledge, then you should actually register for that. Otherwise, only knowing Ganesha through stories is wonderful way to know him. But if you are already in love with him and you want to go deeper into his existence and how he is and how he functions and what are the falashrutis of these prayers, this is all taught in this session. So in case you are interested, you please can register. Yes, Neha.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to this, Doctor, and specifically for those who have joined from my community. I speak a lot about meditating and learning through stories and how just doing that, just understanding those stories, the deeper meaning of every mantra affects our psyche and ultimately balances our our karma with a particular planet. So, which is why when Dr. Anita told me about this workshop that she's going to hold on Ganesh Atharvashish, I was so excited to share it with my community because in today's day and age, everybody speaks about sermons, they speak about a mantra, and it's beautiful. But here is an opportunity for us to not just listen to it, just because some astrologer asked us to, or just because somebody asked us to, but to actually deeply understand the meaning of it. That as to why is somebody asking you to meditate on it? For people who have done Ramayan renditions and Hanuman Chalisa renditions and totally understood it, they have come back to me saying that earlier we used to just chant it. Today we chant it with our full bhava because we understand its meaning, and that has made so much change in my life, which is exactly why I encourage you all to consider this workshop of Dr. Anita Chittara on Ganesh Atharva Shirша also, because one, she knows it. Second, this is a chanting Ganesh Atharva Shirša is literally the remedy for the year 2023. We have already discussed how it is associated with Ketu and why Ganesha as deity. And in the beginning of this year, if you reset yourself by this deeper understanding and chant it in the entire year, I think it's going to be a beautiful remedy for all of us. But it is at an offer right now for until the day last at such a discounted price. So I think you all should totally go for it. Also, with that, I would like to mention one more thing that whatever is your learning, as I said in the beginning, that this is going to be an interactive session. Only those people will take the most of it who stay interactive also. So, right after this, we will open up the forum. Share your learnings. What is that one takeaway that you have from this webinar today? And that we will share on YouTube channel also, so that everybody gets this information. And second, as I said, take a screenshot, share this learning with of yours on your Instagram handle and tag me and Dr. Anita so that it reaches out to more and more people. So with that, Doctor, do you want to add something, or should we open the forum for everyone?
No, I think we can open the forum, and I would love to listen to the takeaways and what they have learned today and how much they have enjoyed these stories. And anybody who has actually read Atharva Shirsham can also share how they feel about that chant. Yes.
Excellent. So let's see. So so please raise your hands. Who would like to share the takeaway of today's session with everybody and expand their knowledge and share with all of them that this is my one takeaway. This is what I'm going to tell my own community. This is what I'm going to tell my own friends, because one, not only will it, uh, encourage us to do more of these seminars, but that is something through you which you will be able to share with others. And so that maybe others miss that point, but if you highlight it, it will be helpful for them. Yes. So please raise your hands. Who wants to be unmuted first? Chalu, raise your hands. Or maybe you can unmute yourself and share with everybody.
I think there are no questions or no sharing right now. People are waiting. Yes, Debashish.
Okay, Debashish wants to. So let me. Okay, please unmute yourself, Debashish ji.
Yes, can you hear me, Neha ji?
Absolutely, yes. Please go ahead.
Okay, I was listening to this session, and what I gathered is that in order to, in order to master the universal forces, I think we need to unravel the mysteries of Ganesha. That is what I understood from this session.
Neha, you will take this question.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right that to understand the mysteries of the universe, it will be great to unravel the mysteries of Sri Ganesha. And as we just discussed over here, that through his Swarupa, through his stories, the rishis have left so much for us to understand, to learn, and to share with everybody around us also. There was a community which was thriving on those stories. They were not just stories, they were really these messages which everybody was taking in seasonally and aligning their life to it so that the future was a lot more set in comparison to how it is today. So beautifully summarized, Devashishji. That is exactly how it is, and that was exactly what the motive of doing this webinar was also. Anything else that you would like to share?
Hi, this is Sakshi. I hope you can hear me.
I
Yes.
can, yes, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Actually, I've got a little bad throat. That's why I didn't want to communicate. Um, as you mentioned, this year I began with not being well. So definitely, for me, there's a lot of understanding that I need to let go and to align. I have already, started understanding that what is important, what is not important. So I think the
Mm.
universe started on it already for me.
Yes.
Yes,
And
you already
I
started to
was not
declutter.
aware about the Ketu planet's effect. So that
Mm.
was definitely a good learning because we don't much talk about Rahu, Ketu, and other smaller planets. So it was something which I didn't know that would have such a deep impact on us. So definitely, it was a very good learning and good interaction with you as well as Anita ji. I know Anita ji very well. I'm from her group, so it was a good pleasure for me to. I'm grateful to God, in fact, that even though I was not well, I am a part of this program today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Excellent.
you so much.
Yeah, please. No, thank you so much for sharing this, Sakshi. And I think while you say that, that you started the year with being unwell, however, the way I would put it is, correct me if I'm wrong, that you started the year with decluttering. So whatever is not required in your body is resetting to it, such that going forward, you only have that in you, which you need, which is for your highest and best. In fact, decluttering, Sakshi, happen, and for everybody else, it happens to our body every turn of the season, right? Whenever summers are going into winters, autumns are going into spring, etc., that is where our body also tries to let go of that. So we develop something which we require in winters, which are not required in summer. So when the season is changing, then our body starts decluttering all of that which we had built upon in winters, but is not required for summers. And similarly, when another season changes, that happens too. So excellent, and all the best. May you heal at God's speed.
Yes, resetting yourself. Yes, this is the time to reset yourself. All the best, Sakshi.
All the best, and thanks for sharing. Okay, who else would like to go next?
Hi Neha ma'am, Rashmiya. Can I share?
Absolutely, Rashmi. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hi Neha ma'am. After a long time, I joined your session. And to be honest, I was not, I had exited from the group due to I was in a zone, I didn't want it to connect or I was doing a lot of courses. So, just to take a step back, I had exited and I was not in a right frame of mind to say. But I do not know how. And your emails, I mean, I'm so thankful to you. Even if I, your emails are always informative emails they come, but honestly, I was not even reading them, not the other emails also, because I was not in that frame of mind. But I do
Mm.
not know why I just happened to open this one particular email which mentioned about 2023 general energy and all. And then there was also about this upcoming webinar on Sri Ganesha. So I do not know why. I just enrolled it. And that email, as I mentioned, all the videos, everything was so beautiful. So I just want to say that, when we are receptive, as Dr. Ji also said, when we are in that, as the saying says, when the student is ready, the master arrives. So it wasn't, this was the time maybe, that it needed to come. And all those videos, and if I could resonate, it was so beautiful. I mean, just confirmed, like, and certain things I got to know, certain things were confirmed. It was so beautiful, all those. That was about 2023. And about this webinar, I would say, I have been chanting, reciting rather, Atharva Shisha. I mean, I was so blessed. Atharva Shisha was taught to our in our school. I mean, even though it was an English medium school, it was taught to us. Okay, and so since as a child, from that time, I have been reciting Atharva Shisha. But now I it's not in the routine, and I just lost the touch. However, today, after today's seminar, my takeaway would be, yes, I would again start reciting. As I would not say I would try to make it as a part of a daily routine, but again, like, yeah, that is one thing. And another is, with regards to Ganpati. Ganpati is one of my favorite. Like, I consider Ganpati as my spirit guide. It's my favorite. And every day I do chanting. So I think maybe Ganpati only. And yesterday was Ankarki, right? So I taken that also, Sankashti, because earlier I used to do every day, every month Chaturthi, and I used to. Every time it was not continued, my fast was broken. So I thought maybe God only does not want me to continue. But yesterday, after almost 3 years, I took Tuesday's Sankarki, and this, I do not, I feel, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I feel I was guided for this webinar. I feel so blessed and in a positive frame of mind, because I was not ready to go get into any community or stuff like that because of whatever XYZ reasons. But now I feel so nice, like you said, right? Bhagwan bolte ki, why are you taking so much tension? I am there, right? So yeah, so overall it's very good. My takeaway would be a very positive frame of mind, and what, like, everything is being taken care. And yeah, so that's all. And honestly, the reason I wanted to speak is a genuine thank you to you, Neha ma'am, because even if I was not in touch, your emails and the information that you share, uh, without any fees or without, just so much information you share, and the quality of that information, the genuine, it's so beautiful. Thank you so much, and may God give both of you lot of strength and power to spread this awareness and healing to more of people. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you so much. And this is definitely true that you have been guided to this webinar. Lord Ganesha is guiding you.
I'm sorry if I fumbled some. I was just speaking whatever was coming to my mind. Yeah, thank you.
No, that's in fact exactly the idea, to speak whatever was coming to your mind. It's an open forum. Thank you so much, Rashmi, for sharing. Uh, I think one of you actually summed up in a lot about Ketu in itself, that you required some time to go away, reset, reframe, and then come back, and then maybe go away and then reset and come back. That's perfectly all right. You did what you did for your own well-being, and that is perfectly all right. And happy to have you back, and for you to join here at the Ganesha
I,
webinar.
I, I I had one question. Just I wanted to ask, like, so in Ketu, also ancestors play a very important role, like Pitra, right? Just wanted to ask that, uh, in the numerology, like 7 number. So do ancestors play an important role? Just wanted to ask. Like, otherwise, I mean,
Sure.
specifically in this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for
So,
doctors, one more question I have for Dr. Anita ji, like, one more question. Like, I recite Atharva Shishya up till, the shloka 21, I guess. I used to recite, I would say, up till 21, because that was what I was taught to me. So is that correct? And yeah, I just wanted to ask that. Or like, because after that also there are shloka. I in the book it is there. So I just wanted to ask that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Neha, you can answer the question first.
sure. So, when it comes to ancestors generally are very important for us, be it the Ketu year or not, or the Rahu year or not. But specifically, yes, both Rahu and Ketu, they denote our ancestors. Ketu generally speaks about our maternal ancestors, and Rahu generally speaks about our paternal ancestors. But having said that, Ketu is further speaking about our roots, and we just discussed in the aspect of Muladhara Chakra that if our roots are not strong, which means if you okay, so let's look at it this way, that wherever there was colonization which happened, basically what was done was that people were made to be feel ashamed of their own roots, of their own culture. So this is often an example which I give to people, that strengthen your roots, go and research in this Ketu period as to which lineage you belong to, which Kul Devata or Kul Devi did they used to worship? What are their stories? Who is, because even the Kul Devi and the Kul Devta, they come with messages, their own stories, what is their strengths and etc. What were they incepted for? That in itself has a message for all of us. So yes, in short, the answer is that Ketu is the energy of ancestors also. It is very important to connect back to your ancestral roots in this year. It will give you direction. Wherever you feel lost, you will be able to gauge the decisions just by how your ancestors used to do it. Sometimes that also happens in the Ketu.
Okay.
That's right.
One thing Rashmi asked is that she reads up to 21 shloka. That is perfectly fine, because after that it is Falshruti only. So if you are reading that way, that's fine. Another thing which the same thing which Neha was just sharing, that it is so important to strengthen your roots, and Ganpati is always guiding you to do that. I will just tell you one small incidence. Incidence nahi, it's a fact of life. You know, whenever Ganpati ke jo din hote 10 days, when we have the Ananta Chaturdashi. So Ganpati is our jo hamara Mooladhara ka devata, you know. And 10 days of Ganpati, when Ganpati is the Visurjan, when puja for Ganpati, when so he is guiding you, please Ganpati, and then he tells you to nurture your roots. अपने पितरों के दिन शुरू होते हैं. And moment that Pitra Paksh is over, when you have done that nurturing or going to the source and doing the sadhana of your Pitras, your ancestors, your parents, your ancestors, or I don't even stop at ancestors, I always tell Pitra Paksh is not only for your ancestors. Pitra Paksh is to be grateful to each one of the influencer of your life, each person who has influenced your life. Not only your ancestors, उनका तो है ही है, उनकी वजह से तो आप हैं आज. लेकिन वो लोग जिन्होंने आपके लिए सड़कें बनाई, वो लोग जिन्होंने ये ज्ञान आपके लिए सहेज के रखा, वो लोग जिन्होंने जिनके घरों में हम रह रहे हैं, वो लोग जिन्होंने हमारे लिए एयरपोर्ट्स, हॉस्पिटल, स्कूल, कॉलेजेस बनाए, वो अब नहीं है, लेकिन वो आपके पितृ ही हैं. उन्होंने आपके लिए ये सब काम करके रखा है. सो उनका भी धन्यवाद देना है. आपने पहले गणपति प्रथम देवता को खुश किया, फिर एंसेस्टर्स को खुश किया, उसके बाद नवरात्रि आ जाती है, देवी, द शक्ति, द मातृ, जो हमारी ओरिजिनेट, जो हमारी क्रिएशन है. सो कुदरत ने भी आपके लिए ऐसा सब तैयार करके रखा है. सो जैसे अभी नेहा ने बताया कि इट इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट टू नर्चर योर रूट्स. योर रूट्स आर योर एंसेस्टर्स, योर पीपल हु हैव influenced your life in some way, in any which way. So I always say, be grateful to each one of the person who has done something for you, कि जिनके लगाए हुए बीज के फल आप आज खा रहे हो. वो हमारे ancestors भी हैं और हमारे सब वो लोग भी हैं जिन्होंने हमारे जीवन को सहज बनाया है. So
and never be ashamed of your roots.
Yeah,
Understood, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah, beautifully explained, very nicely explained. Thank you, Neha.
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you, Rashmi. And Kiran Mai said that she cannot share it, she cannot speak, so she has shared it on the chat. I'll just read it out for you, Doctor. She says this session is very good. Thank you both, Neha and Dr. Anita ji. Further, she says that the explanation on
on Ganesha is very on the point. I will read it out. Actually, this is what has to be explained along with the mythological stories. My take is how we have to work on ourselves, where to start. The simple saying aim big but start slowly. We have to work for the ultimate goal of infinity, crown chakra, but start with the basic, that is Mooladhara chakra. This is applicable in all aspects of our life. Very true, and well done.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Devashish.
अनीता, डॉक्टर अनीता जी, मेरा एक सवाल था. आपने शुरू में त्रिताप के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत बताया था.
किसके बारे में?
त्रिताप.
त्रिताप.
So can you please explain a bit on that?
Yes, I can just give you the information about that, but details में आपको चाहिए तो I think मेरे YouTube चैनल पे मैंने शायद बताया है, नहीं तो आप मेरे सेशंस ज्वाइन करते रहिए, हम उसमें कहीं ना कहीं बताते हैं। तो 3 तरह के कष्ट होते हैं, 3 तरह के ताप होते हैं। एक होता है आदि भौतिक, एक होता है आदि दैविक और एक होता है आध्यात्मिक। कुछ कष्ट जो होते हैं हमारे मतलब भौतिक जगत से होते हैं, जो और लोगों के द्वारा हमें मिलते हैं। कुछ कष्ट होते हैं जो कुदरत के द्वारा मिलते हैं, जो जैसे बाढ़ आ गई, सुनामी आ गई, तूफान आ गए, ये सब जो कुदरत के द्वारा जो आ जाते हैं। और कुछ कष्ट ऐसे होते हैं जो आध्यात्मिक हमारी आत्मा के द्वारा, जो हमारे कार्मिक डेट्स होते हैं उनके द्वारा आते हैं। तो देर इज अ वेरी डीप नॉलेज अबाउट इट, we can discuss in some other session also. Thank you, Devajish, for asking this. So we will end the session here.
Yes. And as I mentioned earlier, that whatever is your learning, or in fact, take a screenshot of this session and share it for everybody on your Instagram so that everybody knows that this happened. We might be sharing snippets of this on our respective YouTube channels. My YouTube channel, you can search by Neha Goyal, Nehaggoyal. Dr. Anita's YouTube channel name is Dr. Anita Chitkara, right? Yes.
Yeah, you can visit my website. You will get all the links. That is www.dranitachitkara.com. That's it.
Namaste, madam. Padmini here. May I speak?
Padmini.
Yeah, so I was just thinking I will also attend the Atharva Shisha. So will I also get the offer?
Yes, of course, for everyone. The offer for today is for everyone. Anybody can join in. Yes.
So
Okay.
Padmini, the offer is valid. The discount is valid till tonight.
Okay.
Definitely the link. Are you there in the group, the Ganeshji and 23 group?
Yes, I am there in that.
Okay, great. So I had shared this earlier. I'm sharing it once again. Join Dr. Anita's amazing workshop on Ganesh Atharva Sheesh and get further guided in 23. And with the
Okay.
link, I have just shared it. You can click on it and you can book it.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, Viji, you have a question?
Today I joined very late, only to around 8 o'clock. So can we have a recording of the session?
That Neha can tell, but if you want to join the Atharva Sheesh session, you can join it. And yeah, offer is valid for you also, for everyone. Yes. Neha, the recordings ka kya hai? You can announce that how.
Yeah, so hopefully this is getting recorded.
Okay.
And if it is getting recorded, then in parts it will be shared both on my YouTube channel and on Dr. Anita or on Dr. Anita's YouTube channel as and when she wants.
Okay.
But yes, like a complete link will not be given on the group. So please subscribe, Vijiji. Namaste.
Yeah, namaste.
So please subscribe to Dr. Anita's channel and to my channel. What I'll do is after this in the group, are you also a part of the Ganeshji and 23 group?
Yeah, she's part of my community. Yeah.
Okay, so over there, I will share the link to both Dr. Anita's YouTube channel as well as my YouTube channel. You can subscribe and hit the notification so that whenever we upload this video or the snippets, you will get it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aruna. Thank you.
Aruna ji is saying thanks a lot, Neha ji, and Anita ji feeling blessed to be a part of this beautiful season. Excellent. Great. So anybody else wants to share anything? Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing what you had to, for sharing your takeaways, for summarizing it for yourself and for everybody also. As I said, this is a year where there will be a lot of information available. Idea is not to spend your energy everywhere, work very smartly, see what is required, what is aligned with your goals, what is emotionally making you more intelligent, then join it. And while you are joining it, ensure that you stay interactive, otherwise it's of no use. In fact, in our Vedic learnings, in our Vedic teachings, there is a process of listening where we absorb everything and then samvad, which is to discuss that what have you understood? Because otherwise the brain will not absorb it. If you will discuss it, the brain will absorb it, it will retain for a longer period of time. So the idea is to require lesser and lesser recordings and to be more and more interactive and focused on the now. That is what will help us in dropping anxiety. So thank you
Ma'am,
so much
just
for joining
ma'am,
in. Is anybody trying to say anything? Who's that?
ma'am, Rashmi again. I just wanted to add one thing. Can I, last in the message I had asked you about discernment only. The doubt was about discernment, and for some reason I thought the question was not correct. But honestly, later on in your videos in that email about 2023, and you explained and my entire query was answered in that, like the way you explained how discernment, how it is a process, like slow by slow, how you have to trust the inner guidance, and all the things were explained in that video, which I happened to see later on. Before that I sent the message. So yeah, I just wanted to add that to, so I just, because you were saying the same thing about right now. So yeah, that was also very beautifully explained in that video. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rashmi. And I know I
And
will
thank
be
you
putting
once again.
you.
Yes,
I
and
will be
thank you
putting
once
you on
again.
spotlight. One second. I know I will be putting you on spotlight with this, but it's great for everybody else. Could you share any one takeaway as to what discernment meant to you from that particular video, or whatever you saw, whatever you saw?
I would say discernment in regards to my own experience, because I have been here and there and everywhere. Like I've discernment at its, I don't know what is the word, but at its peak, I have, like, how not the opposite of the discernment. I don't know what is the word for that. At the peak of that, I have seen. So from your video, the takeaway would be, as you said, right? You have to do not have to go here and there. Yeah, the best word. Okay, yes, the that you mentioned, right? You are a psychic if you allow it to be. So the download, the word that is everybody using, download. There's nothing. What I used to believe is download is something you get jitters, and I am not, my body or my state of mind is not ready to be in that, to accept that thing. So I wasn't, kuch alag hi hota hai. But as you mentioned, when you are still, and as the saying says, right, prayer is when you speak to God, and when your meditation is when the spirit speaks to you. So like, you have to be still, then only that download or whatever that word is, that little nudges or the thoughts that come. So it's a process. Like one day it cannot happen. Like हमें tempt होता है, अरे मैं यहाँ भी जाऊँ वहाँ भी जाऊँ. So yeah, then I am not getting, but your entire, like, I would suggest if anybody has that, like in the group, that email or that video in your, everybody to read, see that it's a 30-minute video, which ideally it also speaks about 23's energy, and also about simple beautiful remedies that you have explained, like simple about donating root based vegetables, and moon, how the moon is important, full moon or new moon. And yeah, so this small step, then you will reach a stage where you are so anchored in your own self that you do not need to go here and there. Of course you can take help as and when needed, and that you have rightly mentioned, that please take guidance when needed, but otherwise, yeah, bhago mat, yeah. So that
Okay.
is what I.
Thank you, Rashmi.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for summarizing
Yeah,
it.
and Dr.
Rashmi.
Yeah, thank you both. Thank you for this
Thank
wonderful
you.
session.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. I guess we've come to the end of the session. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for making it a success. And happy to be a part of Dr. Neeta's community also, and sharing with everybody. This is a namaste from my side. Hand it over to Doctor.
Thank you so much, each one of you. Thank you, Neha, for holding such webinars. It's such wonderful knowledge shared for each other. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a beautiful evening, everybody. And we'll be sharing the links of the YouTube channel on the Instagram handle. I will probably share the 2023 energy also. Subscribe to Dr. Neeta and my channel, so that you can get not just the snippets of this, but also all the other information, which is very generously shared actually by Dr. Neeta on her channel and by me on my channel.
Thank you. Thank you
See
so
you,
much.
everybody. Abhay Mudra. May Lord Ganesha bless you all.
Lord Ganesha bless us all. Thank you so much. Thank you.